Hey there, what's up? My name is Amit Surana and I welcome you all to the second lecture in the LRDI section in the foundation batch. Today we're going to talk about logical reasoning. Yes, I understand that logical reasoning is all about puzzles, but then there has to be some kind of tricks and strategy that you can apply there as well, right? So apart from solving puzzles just like the way it is supposed to be solved, we will also be looking at a few rules that you can follow that could make your puzzle solving process a little more smooth. Yeah, let's get started. My name is Amit Surana and this is Introduction and Essentials for Logical Reasoning. Today we're going to talk about what logical reasoning is all about. We're going to talk about the essentials, right? So in data interpretation, the essentials were calculation, so there was math involved there, and how to read charts. This time in logical reasoning, the essentials are going to be clues and conditions, right? So the entire puzzle set is going to be based on the clues and the conditions given to us. So we're going to see how to identify them, how to use them, and which of the conditions should you start first with. And then we're going to look at the different types of sets. Yeah, let's get started. Logical reasoning is all about solving a puzzle. We all know that, right? But beyond that, there are a lot of other things that you have to keep in mind when it comes to LR. So logical reasoning, the entire thing is going to be based on puzzles. Yes, puzzles could be based on math, could be text puzzles, could be purely logical puzzles, right? But the most important thing that comes into play when it comes to LR is your point of view, right? Your perception towards it. Every clue, every sentence, every statement, every word in fact could have more than one meanings, right? So what should be your perception when you solve those? And then we're going to talk about how traditional solving of a puzzle and unorthodox, right, out of the box solving could come into play. Yes, let's get started then. These are the topics that fall under logical reasoning. We have arrangements, could be seating arrangements, could be arrangements in general, linear, circular. Then we have distribution, where we talk about arranging. Distribution is also arrangement, but then it's arranging in a grid where there are more than one factors that come into play. Then we have games and tournaments, we have maps and networks. Then we have general puzzles, right? When I say puzzle, it could be any kind of a puzzle, a math-based puzzle. It could talk about, numbers. It could talk about coding and decoding, right? Encryption, decryption, all of those fall under puzzles. And we also have Venn diagrams. Venn diagrams are, or set theory basically, could fall under both. It could be a part of DI also as well as LR. So it's mostly LR-based DI, right? Or DI-based LR, either which ways. But since we've not included that in DI, we're going to talk about that in LR. Yeah, let's started. Essentials, clues and conditions. Every statement, every coin has two faces to it, right? Just like that. हर statement को समझने के एक से ज़्यादा तरीके होते हैं, right? Any statement given to you could have more than one meaning, and it really doesn't matter whether you understand the statement completely or not, unless and until you know what your approach towards it is going to be, right? So यहाँ पे हम ये भी बात करेंगे कि what should be the first clue, which ones should be the first ones that you start with, right? Your approach क्या होना चाहिए when you see different types of sets. Yes, let's get started. First, we're going to talk about different types of clues and conditions, okay? First, we're going to talk about clues and conditions, right? The idea behind reading the clues and conditions, there should be a lot of things running in your mind when you do them. First, obviously, reading, right? Now, I understand reading is very simple, but then a lot of people make mistakes in that also. In a rush, when they read a condition, they skip a couple of words, right? They skim through the condition. Please stop skimming through conditions, right? Do not make this a habit. This could cost you heavily. Yeah. Instead, when you read, consider each word to be important. Yes. And it's not just reading. You also have to understand while you're doing it. Yes. So when you read a condition, any conclusion that you could make out of the condition, make a note of that. Number two, the language. Yes. Like I said, a clue or a condition could have more than one meanings if you are not aware of it, right? So language काफी ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है यहाँ पे. Next, perception or your point of view, that would also matter. Yeah. Moving on to focus. Now there would be n number of clues given to us, right? But you have to focus on the ones that are relevant to solving the puzzle. There would be a lot of irrelevant clues also given, which you could discard or use it later. Yes. Then always remember, when it comes to LR, in fact for DI also this could work, but specifically for LR, keep in mind that elimination is always better than selection of the right answer. Yes, learn to eliminate things. Yeah, the more you eliminate. So let's say you're putting up conditions, you have 3 cases, right? You're getting 3 different arrangements. You have to figure out ways in which you could eliminate them, right? And then confirmation. Yes, whenever you read a clue, that may not help you to solve the puzzle, but it would help you to get a confirmation that yes, whatever I've solved is correct, है ना? So keeping this in mind, let's talk about different types of clues. Yeah, obviously we know that there are direct and indirect clues, but within direct clues also there are relevant and less relevant clues. Yes, so we're going to do a small activity where we figure out which clue is what. Yeah, so let's take an example set here, before which let's talk about what direct and relevant clues are. Yes, one, a direct clue is going to give you exact location, exact position, exact value, right? If it gives you exact of something, that's a direct clue. Yeah, at the same time, whenever you start with a direct and a relevant clue, right? So a relevant clue could be, let's say you've decided to fix say position, right? First, second, third, fourth, fifth positions, right? If you're fixing that, then the clue should be relevant to that. Or if you've decided to fix, let's say, people's name, right? A, B, C, D, E, then the clues that you pick up should be relevant to that. So those are clues that are direct as well as relevant. Yes, and you're going to base your entire arrangement or your entire grid on those clues alone, right? That is going to be your starting step. The first step is very important in solving a puzzle, because if your first approach is not right, फिर तो भाई ठन ठन गोपाल. Okay, chalo, let's get started. Let's talk about direct and less relevant. So direct clues के बारे में तो हम समझ गए, but what are less relevant ones? The ones that gives you complete information. Information तो वो complete सा देगा, but that may not be irrelevant. That may not be relevant. Yes, that may not be relevant to the approach that you've picked, है ना? तो वो clue भी जरूरी है, but then those will be used in later. Yes. Select the ones that are related to direct and relevant clues. तो अगर आप कोई direct clue, relevant clue pick कर रहे हैं, then pick the direct and less relevant clues relating to that. Yes, don't worry about all this. I'll give you an example. Yes, I'll help you understand what a direct relevant, direct less relevant, and an indirect clue is. Yeah, indirect clue क्या है? It does not give you complete information. Usually, it may be in a negative form. Yes. B does not own a red house. Yeah, so B does not own a red house could mean so many different things. Yes, obviously does not own a red house, but it could own any other n minus 1 number of houses. Yeah, so these are used for elimination or for confirmation. Eliminating a case, a condition, or confirming on it, you can use these indirect clues, and they are usually used for trial and error purpose. Yes, you try a particular thing, you check with those indirect clues and figure out कि ये match हो रहा नहीं हो रहा. तो फटाफट से example की तरफ चलते हैं. This is a very simple set. Okay, caselet नहीं है, set है, simple सा set है, right? This is what arrangement. Yeah, seating arrangement है, linear seating arrangement है. Let's get started. 5 students के नाम दे दिए P to T are seated on a bench. Now there are 4 conditions given to us, right? Our usual approach is going to be what? Start with the first clue, right? When you read those clue, yes, you start from the top. Don't start anywhere when you start reading. But when you start solving is when you figure out which one should be your first one. So let's get started. Let's read all of these clues. There are odd number of seats between R and Q. So I know that there are 5 people, so there would be 5 seats. And the first clue is saying there are odd number of seats. Odd number of seats between who? R and Q, correct? So it could be R, one seat between R and Q, number of seat 1, which is odd. Alternatively, we could also have Q and R and one person in between. But could that only be 1? Not necessarily, right? What's the next odd number? 3. So we could also have another condition where we have R, between R and Q, there could be 3 seats as well. Yes, and this way also. So what happens if your approach itself, the first approach itself is giving you 4 cases, then it becomes difficult to follow with the rest. Yes. And here you know 5 people are seated, but here you don't know where the other 2 people would be. We could have 1 here, 1 here, we could have 2 on this side, we could have 2 on this side. Yes, it becomes confusing. Yeah, so this may not be the first one that you start with, right? This is a direct clue. It is directly saying the number of seats between them, which means it's giving a very close exact location of the 2 people, but it's not the first thing that you start with. So this would be what? Direct but less relevant one. Okay, this is what the first clue is, direct but less relevant. Got it? Let's look at the second clue. S does not sit in the extremes. What does this mean? So this was our first clue's understanding. The second clue's understanding is what? S does not sit in the extremes. So I know that out of the 5 seats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, S does not sit here. S does not sit here. However, there are 3 seats left for S now. 1, 2, 3. Again, which means if I start with this clue, अगर मैं अपना solving process इस clue के साथ start करता हूँ, then what would happen? I would have 3 cases now. Again, sitting and solving with this could become tiresome, right? So this would be what? The second clue here is what? Indirect clue. Got it? Direct but less relevant. The second one is what? Indirect, because it's not telling us anything clearly about S's position. Moving on to the third one. Let's look at the third one, okay? What is the third clue saying? T is a neighbor of R. Neighbor means sitting next to. So if T is a neighbor of R, it could be like this, T and R here, or R and T here, right? It could be both of these things, but only one student sits to the left of T. Again, both of these could work. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? When they say only one student sits to the left of T, what is happening? There is T here. This is T's left. This would be T's right, correct? है ना, ये left हो गया T का, ये right हो गया T का. Now they're saying only one student sits to the left of T, but who is that student? Could it be R? Possible. But could R also be here? Possible. Yes. If R is here, then someone else would come here. Yeah. But if R is here, then someone else would come here. Yeah. Again, we are getting what? 2 cases. So that may not be the first thing that you start with. However, have a look at the fourth clue. What is the fourth clue telling us? T sits equidistant to both extremes. Now, this is a direct and a relevant clue. Direct and a relevant one. Why? Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seats. What does equidistant mean? Equidistant का मतलब क्या है कि extreme से equal distance में, right? That means the middle seat. Yes, this is the extreme. This is the extreme. This would be where who's sitting? P is sitting. Yes. So is this a direct clue? Yes. Is it giving us complete information about P's location? It is. Is it relevant? Yes. Is this the one that you start with? Of course. Yeah. Why? Because you have at least one person seated fixed. Yes. Now you go on with which clues? You have to start with direct but less relevant one, but relevant to this. Relevant to this condition. So which one can we start with? Can I start with this? The third one, T is a neighbor of R, but only one student sits to the left of T. If only one student is to the left of T, that means T has to be here. Yes, if one student is to the left of T, it means 3 students should be to the right of T, correct? So if T is here and they're saying T and R are neighbors, R cannot sit on top of T. So automatically R की location क्या हो जाती है? The first seat. Getting it? Yes. Then we are done with fourth clue. We are done with third clue. Now, you could either take the first or the second. It doesn't really matter. If I look at the first one, there are odd number of seats between R and Q. R is here. Yes. Can I place Q here? Would it make sense? Of course not. Then there would be even number of seats. Yes. So what happens? R Q gets removed from here because there are even number of seats then. So the only place left for Q is here. Look at the number of seats between R and Q. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Automatically now you don't even have to look at that indirect clue, but that's a confirmation. I know that out of the 5 people, if 4 people are seated, एक बंदा बच गया. 1 seat, 1 person left. Who's going to take that place? S. Yes. And what is going to confirm that? Our second clue. S does not sit in the extremes. This is only for confirmation. Is S sitting in the extremes? No, S isn't. Yes. I hope that's clear. Yeah. So now I think you know what is a direct relevant, direct less relevant, and an indirect clue, and you know which one to start with. Sahi hai? Yes. Super. Very good. Beautiful, guys. So keeping this in mind, right? Keeping this entire thing in mind, we're going to start with another example. But guys, remember, solving a puzzle is just like making tea. चाय बनाने जैसा है, ठीक है? जैसे भी आप बनाओगे चाय बन तो जाएगा, राइट? अगर आप पानी पहले डाल रहे हो या दूध पहले डाल रहे हो, चाय तो बन जाएगी. There is a right way of doing it. There is also not so right way of doing it, but at the end of it, चाय बन जाएगी. But what's the deal? उसमें इतनी मगजमारी होगी, right? If you don't follow the right approach, काफी headache होगा, right? You'll have to do a lot of other processes. It might take you a longer period of time. Yes, so it's all about being efficient. Yes, time efficient as well as energy efficient. Cool. Chalo. So here's the second set that I'm taking, right? This is a math based puzzle. ठीक है, यहाँ पे we have 8 clues given to us. Can we get started? चलो. 7 variables A through G. A, B, C, D, E, F and G. There are 7 variables given to us. They take up distinct. One thing is what? They are distinct. Distinct matlab kya? No two values could be same. Every value of the variables would be unique. Okay. And they are all what? Integers, which means no decimals, no fractions. Cool. Now, keep in mind, guys, integers could also be positive or negative. Always remember that, right? Integer kya hota? What is an integer? Integer is anything that goes from negative infinity to infinity, including 0. Yes, negative infinity to infinity, including 0, not excluding it. 0 bhi ek integer hi hai, right? But these are all what? These are all going to be non-decimal, non-fractional ones. Okay. Okay. Now, let's start with the clues. We are going to first start reading the clues and then we'll get on to the solving part. Okay. The first clue, the value of each variable is divisible only by 2 natural numbers. What is that supposed to mean? अब ये वाला, without having knowledge of numbers, can I sit and solve? Definitely not, right? So there are questions that deal with your logical sense of solving things, but also mathematical. Yes, आपको दोनों तरफ से strong होना पड़ेगा. Okay. What does it mean? Each variable is divisible only by 2 natural numbers. What are those kind of numbers? Let's say if I take a number like 8, ठीक है? 8 कौन से number से divisible है? 8 is divisible by 1. Yes. 2, yes. 4, yes. 8, yes. Does it have only 2 natural numbers as its divisor? No. There are 4. But we are looking for what? 2 of such. What could be an example? How about 5? Would 5 work, guys? Yes, because 5 is divisible only by 1 and itself. What's those numbers called? Jo sirf 1 and itself. Numbers that have exactly 2 factors, 1 and itself, are called what? Prime numbers. Beautiful. So I know that the first clue says that all the variables are what? Prime. Yes. First clue done, dusted. Moving on. No variable is greater than B. What is that supposed to mean, guys? क्या ये direct clue होगा? No variable is greater than B, which means what? B has to be the greatest. Do you agree? If there is nothing bigger than B, nothing greater than B, that means B has to be the largest. So we know that B has to be the largest number. Yes, largest variable is B. ठीक है. Now I know these are prime, but these could be any prime numbers. Largest prime number हमें नहीं पता. Moving on. So we've read this, right? We've considered this, but we're going to use this later. Variable E takes the same value as its position in the English alphabet. एक variable है E, okay? it takes up the same value as its position in the English alphabet. English alphabet क्या है? A, B, C, D all the way till Z, correct? तो उसमें से E का क्या position है? A, B, C, D, E. Yes, the fifth position. This is a direct and a relevant clue because it is giving us exact, precise value of a variable. Yes, directly यहाँ पे सिर्फ इतना बोला है कि B greatest है. Direct clue है, but not relevant here. Yes, but how about this? E being equal to 5 is relevant as well as direct. बस खत्म, E का खेल खत्म, right? Now the kind of clues that we are going to pick are going to be relevant to E. E से related, E का value 5 हमें पता है, उससे related और क्या clues है वो देखेंगे. So let's look at the fourth one. The product of A, D and E is 110. वाह, yes, A into D into E, इसका value क्या बोला है? 110. इसमें से I know that E का value क्या है? 5. Yes. So 5 into A into D is 110. Correct? That means A into D is going to be what? 110 divided by 5, which is 22. Yeah. हमें पता है कि A से लेके G तक everything from A till G everything is a prime number and product of those any two prime numbers is 22. What is that supposed to mean? That's supposed to mean that A or D is going to be either 2 or 11, correct? Yes. Although we do not have precise value of A or D, but we at least know these are the only two values that will fit in. Okay. Keep in mind A or D के related और कुछ भी है? Any other clue related to A or D? Not really, but look at this. The product of A, C and F. Yes. Again, A, we know A could be either 2 or could be 11, right? C or F के बारे में we don't know, but let's see if we can use that particular clue, right? Product of what? A, C, F is what? Is of the form X, Y, Y, X. What does that mean? That's the pattern, right? X, Y, Y, X could be what numbers? 1, 0, 0, 1. Yes. 2, 1, 1, 2. The idea is the first and the last digit should be the same and the middle two digits should be the same. That's the idea behind this kind of a pattern, X, Y, Y, X, right? Now, the moment you look at this, the moment you look at X, Y, Y, X, you know that 1001, this is very important. This could come in handy in a lot of places. 1001 is a product of three prime numbers, which is what? 1001 क्या है? 7 into 11 into 13. Got it? 7 times 11 is 77. 77 times 13 is going to be 1001. Yes. ये अगर आपको पता है, this if you know, then it could work. Yeah. Why? I'll tell you why. See, I know that A and D could be 2 or 1, right? If you look at 2, 1, 1, 2, I'll tell you why 2, 1, 1, 2 won't work. ठीक है, एक एग्जांपल देके बताता हूँ कि 2, 1, 1, 2 क्यों नहीं लिया सर? What is 2, 1, 1, 2? 2, 1, 1, 2 is a number that is divisible by 4. It is divisible by 4, correct? 2000 plus 100 plus 12. 12 is divisible by 4. तो अगर ये number divisible by 4 है, then I know for a fact that its prime factorization will have 2 square. Yes, but that cannot happen क्योंकि there's only 1 2. सिर्फ 2 prime है, 4 is not prime. So I cannot have two variables having the same value as 2 and 2. नहीं हो सकता है ना? So keeping that in mind, if I start, this is again trial and error. If I start with 1001, then what happens? A, C or F could be 7, 11 and 13. Yes. Now what do you do? Find out the commons. अब क्या करेंगे? फटाफट से common को ढूंढेंगे. इनमें से common क्या है? We have 11 here. We have 11 here. We have A here. We have A here. So what is clear now? That the value of A has to be 11. Yes, the value of A has to be 11. If A is 11, automatically what happens? If A is 11, then D has to be what? 2. Done? Yes, D has to be 2. So this part done and dusted. Yeah, are you getting this? अब तक हमें क्या पता चला है? A का value 11, D का value 2, E का value 5. 3 values we are sure of. And what happens here? Automatically C times F is 7 times 13. Correct? C times F is going to be 7 times 13. अगर C into F is 7 into 13, what do you keep in mind here? 7 into 13. Again, find out the ones that are relevant to this. Direct भी होने चाहिए, relevant भी होने चाहिए. What clue can we use? This one. Seventh clue. That says what? F square has to be less than 169. If F square is less than 169, then what happens? If I take square root on both sides, F has to be less than 13. बट यहाँ पे एक और चीज है गाइज, ऑलवेज रिमेंबर वेन एवर यू टेक स्क्वायर रूट, जब भी आप एक पॉजिटिव नंबर का स्क्वायर रूट लेते हो तो वहां पे दो पॉसिबिलिटीज बनेंगे, पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव, राइट? So the other alternative for that would be what? F should be greater than -30. Yes, ये आप this you will learn when you move on to inequalities. ठीक है, कि ये साइन फ्लिप क्यों हुआ, क्योंकि नेगेटिव वैल्यू हो गया इसलिए. -f into -f is -13 into -13 ऐसे, ठीक है? So what are the two cases? F should be less than 13 or F should be greater than -13. We know for a fact that F का -13 से कोई लेना देना होगा नहीं, because A till G are natural numbers. Natural numbers क्या होते हैं? They are integers of course, but they are divisible by natural numbers alone. Only divisible by natural numbers मतलब क्या? Positive numbers. So this gets ruled out. We see that F has to be less than 13. That means can F be equal to 13? क्या F और 13 equal हो सकता है? नहीं. So automatically यहाँ से क्या पता चला कि F cannot be 13, which means F has to be 7. Automatically C becomes what? 13. Do we have two more values? Yes, we do. Yeah. So we're going to quickly move on to the next page, right? Write down all the values that we know. We know that E is 5. We know A 11, D is 2. So A is 11, D is 2, F is 7, C is 13. Correct? Yes, सब कुछ मिल गया हमें. अब देखो क्या, which letters are remaining now? Which ones are remaining? Obviously the greatest B अभी तक आना बाकी है. The greatest B, this is still left, but what do I know? It starts with 2. Right, अपना D, this starts with 2. Then the next prime number, 2 के बाद क्या prime number आता है? 3 आता है. Do we see a 3 anywhere? Not yet. Let's keep it there. Next we have 5. So E है, E value is 5. Next prime number is 7. F value is 7. 7 के बाद 9 is not prime. Okay, 9 is a composite number. 9 is 3 into 3. Okay, so 9 नहीं होगा, 11. A is 11. 11 के बाद next prime क्या है? 13, which is C is 13. Correct? Yes, so we have 5 values set, 2 more to go. Which are those two? One has to be B, of course. B सबसे greatest है, इसको यहाँ पे रखते हैं. Largest of all B. We don't know what could be the value, but we know for a fact that 13 से ज़्यादा होगा. It should be greater than 13, which leaves us with what? It could be 17, it could be 19, it could be 23, 25 nahi, 27 nahi, 29 and so on. B could be any of these values, right? But there's one more variable left, which is what? A, B, C, D, E, F, G reh gaya, G. Is there any clue that's talking about G? Yes, look at this. There are exactly 5 variables greater than G. Exactly 5 variables G से बड़ा है. ये तो ऑब्वियसली बड़ा है. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correct? 5 variables greater than G. That means G has to take up this place. Make sense? यहां पे अगर G आया, if let's say G is here, what would happen? Obviously G cannot be lesser than 5 other variables. It's only lesser than 1. Doesn't work. Right? तो G यहां नहीं आएगा. The only place, A और C के बीच में कोई गैप नहीं है, F और A के बीच में कोई गैप नहीं है, E and F there's no gap between, but D and E has a gap which is 3. Yes. So with this, what do we have? With this, what do we have? We know D fixed value is 2, G is 3, E is 5, F is 7, A is 11, C is 13. B का कुछ आता पता है? b goes all the way till infinity, right? Prime numbers में infinity. No, there's also another clue. Look at this. The largest variable is not more than 19. यहाँ पे लैंग्वेज समझना बहुत जरूरी है. लार्जेस्ट वेरिएबल नॉट मोर देन 19 का मतलब ये नहीं है कि 19, 23, 29 कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता. नो, इट मीन्स व्हाट? इट हैज टू बी lesser than or equal to 19, right? B, they're saying largest variable, which is b, not more than 19. B greater than 19, not possible. What is the alternative then? That means b has to be less than 19, but b could also be equal to 19. So b has to be less than or equal to 19. आया समझ में? That means b will have two possibilities now. B could take up 17 also, could take up 19 also. Yes, this is how you solve puzzles. Yes, the idea is solving these puzzles keeping in mind that you should not have any assumptions in yourselves, right? सॉल्व करते वक्त दिमाग में कोई assumption नहीं होना चाहिए. हाँ, प्राइम नंबर्स मतलब 2 से ही चालू होगा, कोइंसिडेंटली चालू हो गया जरूरी नहीं है. ऑल्सो what do we have? We have multiple cases here now. We have two cases. One case where all of these values are fixed, but b could be 17. Second condition, second case is going to be what? All of these values are the same, but b could be 19. So b के दो possibilities हैं. Okay. Based on this, you will answer the questions. Yes. Let's quickly have a look at all the clues if we've used it. The value of each variable divisible by only 2. Used. Prime fix किया था. No variable is greater than b. b is the largest. Fix कर दिया था. Variable e takes the same value. So this is what we started with. This is your direct and relevant clue. इसको रख के then we solve the others, right? Direct and relevant. This is what we started with. Product of a d e डायरेक्ट है, रेलेवेंट भी है. क्यों? e का डायरेक्ट यूज किया गया, राइट? सो वी यूज्ड वैल्यू ऑफ e इन दिस, बट विल इट बी द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट आई स्टार्ट विथ? ऑब्वियसली नॉट. व्हेन आई से ADE इज 110, ये तो क्लियर है कि प्राइम नंबर्स का प्रोडक्ट है. ADE इज प्रोडक्ट ऑफ प्राइम नंबर्स which is going to be 2 into 5 into 11. But the problem here is what? It could be, there are 3 values, 3 possibilities, right? Yes, so 3 cross 3, 9 possibilities बन जाएंगे यहाँ पे. One where A is 2, D is 5, E is 11, or A is 5, D is 2, E is 11, and so on. That becomes super irritating. Got it? Not 9, 6 cases बन जाएंगे. 6 cases, 3 factorial cases, 3 into 2 into 1 arrangement जैसा. ठीक है? So that being done, next what do we go? Largest variable not more than 19. That may not be the first thing that you start with. Largest variable not more than 19, but इतने सारे prime numbers है उसके पीछे, right? Then product, we used this. ACF का product अपन ने use किया because there was A used here. So A is here also, which means there could be something in common that you can use. Moving on. Then we went for this F. Where did we use it? For elimination. See, F is an indirect clue क्योंकि इसको हमने किसके लिए यूज किया? एलिमिनेट करने के लिए. We had 2 cases for F. अपन ने देखा कि C और F could be 7 or 13. तो यहाँ पे 2 cases बने थे and we used this clue F square is less than 169 only to eliminate one of the cases कि F 13 नहीं हो सकता. F has to be less than 13. Understood? Yeah. तो आई थिंक विद दिस आपका कंडीशंस को पढ़ना, कंडीशंस को समझना, उन्हें सही तरीके से यूज करना, दैट पार्ट इज क्लियर. आई होप. या ऑब्वियसली इसके ऊपर आपको प्रैक्टिस लगेगा, भर भर के प्रैक्टिस लगेगा, क्योंकि LR में नॉट बी एवरीबडीज कप ऑफ टी, राइट? तो इसको इंप्रूव करने के लिए आप क्या कर सकते हैं? यू कैन स्टार्ट सॉल्विंग पजल्स ऑन अ डेली बेसिस, राइट? It could be math related puzzles जैसे Sudoku. You can go for Sudoku. Sudoku will help you with math at the same time trial and error में भी help करेगा, right? There's this one other game called 4 equal to 11. Go check this out. Sorry, 4 equal to 10. 4 equal to 11 मैं अपना खुद का गेम बनाऊंगा बाद में कभी. 4 equal to 10. There is this game. Go check this out. आपके ऐप स्टोर, प्ले स्टोर में अवेलेबल होगा. फन गेम है, इंटरेस्टिंग गेम है. I'll tell you what the game is. 4 नंबर दिए जाएंगे, राइट? देयर विल बी some operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. All you have to do is place those operations in between the 4 digits. 4 डिजिट होंगे, उनके बीच में आपको ऑपरेशंस को प्लेस करना. तो वहां पे आपका मैथ ऑब्वियसली ट्रायल एंड एरर भी काम आएगा, राइट? सो यू विल बी क्विक, ट्राई करेंगे नहीं हुआ नेक्स्ट, ट्राई किया नहीं हुआ नेक्स्ट, एंड सो ऑन, राइट? सो दिस इज वन गेम टू लुक आउट फॉर. Apart from that, if you are not looking for anything purely math based but only logic based or only language based, word based, right? There's this other game called Wordle, है ना? New York Times का है Wordle. Yes, go check this also out. Wordle is all about trial and error and keeping in mind that you make words that have a meaning, right? Meaningful word बनाना है आपको. There will be 6 blocks, right? You have to make a 6-letter word, but with trial and error. Yes, दोनों fun games है. You can make this a part of your routine. दिन में आप एक बार कभी 4=10 खेल लो for some time. Wordle comes only once a day. एक दिन में एक बार आता है Wordle. So this, ये तो daily का हो गया, right? But 4=10 you can play whenever you want to chill and relax for a while. ठीक है? चलो. With this, we are done with clues and conditions. I hope you have no questions, no confusions whatsoever with that. ठीक है? The next thing we're going to talk about, the next essential we're going to talk about is what? The types of sets that we will see. Yes? So this is just going to be a quick run through of क्या क्या sets पूछे जाते हैं in a test like CAT. Okay? These were the topics. We already saw that, right? Arrangements है, distribution है, games, tournaments, maps, networks, puzzles, Venn diagrams, and also you have miscellaneous. Miscellaneous में क्या आते हैं? ऐसे वाले puzzles, right? Puzzles that also make you want to use quant. Quant भी use करने पे मजबूर करेंगे, ठीक है? Arrangements में देख लेते हैं. Linear, अपन ने एक example देखा था. We saw example of a linear seating arrangement. उसी तरीके से circular भी हो सकता है. Where there's a table and people are sitting around it, right? कोई board meeting हो रही है, मेरी गो circus खेल रहे हैं, right? All of that. मेरी गो circus नहीं, मेरी गो circle. Anyway, so this is one of the examples, right? These are questions that were asked in the actual test. हम अभी solve नहीं करेंगे because that's way too advanced solving an actual question. We're just going to have a look at it and see why this is an arrangement question. ठीक है? तो यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है देखो, shopping mall, sorry, large basement parking lot, slots है, मतलब numbers दिए गए हैं parking के लिए. सिंगल रो में, सिंगल रो का मतलब क्या हुआ? फिर ये क्या हो गया? लीनियर अरेंजमेंट हो गया, नॉट अ सर्कुलर वन, अ लीनियर वन. ओके, स्लॉट्स आर क्वाइट नैरो. कॉम्पैक्ट कार कैन फिट इन अ सिंगल स्लॉट बट एन एसयूवी रिक्वायर्स 2 स्लॉट्स. यहाँ पे कंडीशंस आ गए. यस, व्हेन अ कार अराइव्स द पार्किंग अटेंडेंट गाइड्स द कार टू द फर्स्ट अवेलेबल स्लॉट फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग ऑफ द रो. मतलब इधर से, फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ यू स्टार्टिंग लाइक दिस, इधर से फिल करना चालू करेगा, बट फॉर an SUV 2 would be required, for a small car 1 slot would be required, and so on. ठीक है? तो यहाँ पे conditions दिए हुए हैं with respect to that. This is the sequence. Yes, the idea is to arrange it. Yeah, don't worry about this. ये सब हम करेंगे आगे जाके. When we are done with the basics of arrangement, then we'll move on to advanced and we will solve this also. ठीक है? Next we have distribution. Distribution में क्या है? Grid बनाना है बस. You have to make a grid, a table. For example, I'll give you one example of it. Let's say there are 5 doctors. Let's say there are 5 doctors. ठीक है? There are 5 doctors. A, B, C, D, E. And they have 5 specializations. Yes, let's say one of them is a dentist. One of them is a cardiologist, one of them is an anesthesiologist, one of them is an OBGYN, the other guy could be, और किस चीज़ के डॉक्टर्स होते हैं? ENT, anything, right? or a general physician, anything. So there are 5 doctors, 5 specializations, and they're saying they each come on one day of the week between Monday to Friday, right? तो उनके अपॉइंटमेंट्स हैं Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and till Friday. Yeah, 5 appointments done. तो इसके बेसिस पे आपको अरेंजमेंट करना है. There will be clues given, conditions given, which doctor comes on which day, which doctor does not come on which day, कौन सा डॉक्टर किस चीज का स्पेशलिस्ट है, कौन सा नहीं है. So this is going to give us a 3x3 grid. या इसके अलावा भी there could be more conditions. Let's say उनकी कार, एक की कार ग्रीन है, येलो है, वाइट है, ब्लैक है, ब्लू है. Yes, so they could complicate this further by adding more columns to your grid, right? But the idea is the end of the day you would end up making a grid jahan pe each of the doctors would be assigned with each of these. Yes, one of the examples ye apan ne dekha tha recent cat mein. A journal plans to publish 18 research papers, yes, written by 8 authors. तो देखो 18 papers है, 8 authors है, authors का नाम दे दिया, and in 4 issues जो Jan, April, July, October. So they have also given us with 4 issues, 18 papers, 8 authors, 4 issues. Yes, so we have to start with the arrangement. Look at this. 5 papers were scheduled in the first 2 issues, 4 were in the last 2 issues. तो उसमें arrangement भी हो गया, distribution भी हो गया, right? This is a very good example of distribution. Then games and tournaments, again काफी डरावना लगता है दिखने में if you are not comfortable with. For some people games tournaments काफी आसान लगता है क्योंकि they can relate to it. So it's all about understanding and getting into the right kind of perception. POV बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी. तो गेम्स टूर्नामेंट्स में नॉकआउट गेम्स होते हैं, राउंड रॉबिन होते हैं, डबल राउंड रॉबिन होते हैं. नॉकआउट का क्या मतलब है? व्हाट डज नॉकआउट टूर्नामेंट मीन? Knockout tournament is where each team gets to play with only one team. Yes, a particular team gets to play with only one team. If it loses, it's out of the tournament. If it wins, then it moves to the next round. Yes, so rounds में चलता है. But a round robin is like a league match, जहाँ पे say there are 4 teams will play with the other 3. Right? One team will play with the other 3. Second team will also play with, each team will play with 3 teams, and then points would matter. तो यहाँ पे क्या है? Points matter करते हैं. And then whoever is on the top of the table, yes, लीग टेबल होता है, लीग या ग्रुप टेबल होता है, उसके टॉप में जो होता है या टॉप 2 होते हैं वो आगे जाते हैं. Just like your World Cup, whether it's football or cricket or whatever. But if you look at say football, FIFA, अगर आप देखोगे World Cup तो कैसे चलता है? It starts with 32 teams. Yes, मतलब 4 टीम होती है each group में. Yes, say A B C D E F G H, then I J and so on, right? 32 teams ऐसे होते हैं 8 groups में. क्या होता है? First there is a match between among themselves. Yes, एक ग्रुप के अंदर मैच होता है. तो इन ग्रुप में, इस ग्रुप में से ग्रुप 1 में मैच कितने होंगे? 4 teams are there. Yes, each team will play with 3 teams, giving us 4 into 3, 12 games. But A versus B and B versus A is the same game. So 12 by 2, 6 games होंगे यहाँ पे. 6 matches. Yes, which is nothing but 4C2. Yes, ये क्या है? 4C2. We'll talk about all of that, how to figure out the number of matches and all that. Same way 6 matches ये भी खेलेंगे. All the 8 groups will play 6 matches. Then what happens? Once let's say these 2 were the top 2. ये दोनों टॉप 2 में थे, A and B. Then they'll move on to what? The round of 16. 32 से 16 में चले जाएंगे. That when they move on to the round of 16, that is where knockout begins. Knockout का मतलब क्या है? कोई एक भी मैच अगर हारा तो out of the tournament. If you don't, then you move ahead. Yes. So that is one example. Another one, just like round robin, is double round robin, जहाँ पे क्या होता है? There are home matches and away matches. Yes, ये वर्ल्ड कप में नहीं दिखता आपको. ये आपको लीग मैचेस वगैरह में दिखता है जहां पे होम ग्राउंड में भी एक मैच होता है, अवे में भी एक मैच होता है विद द सेम टीम. यस, सेम जस्ट लाइक दिस. लेट्स से ए एंड बी. यस, ए वर्सेस बी एक गेम होगा वेयर ए इज एट होम एंड बी इज अवे. होम ग्राउंड ए का होगा, बी का अवे होगा. और दूसरा सेम, इट विल बी अनदर ए वर्सेस बी मैच वेयर ए विल बी अवे and B will be at home. Yes, this is called double round robin. मतलब क्या? How many matches will they play then? Each of the team will play with 3 other teams at their home. Yes, and B will also play at their home, C will also play at their home, D will also. So 4 into 3, 12 matches हो जाते हैं in double round robin. Yeah, we'll talk about all of these in detail. मैं अच्छे खासे examples भी लेके आऊँगा. A sample question for games and tournaments which we've seen in cat is here. Tango कोई गेम है where 2 people play against each other, one of them wins, other loses. There are no draw. Yes, इसमें draw भी होता है, tie होता है. गोल अगर फीफा अगर फुटबॉल रिलेटेड है तो गोल डिफरेंस होगा, क्रिकेट रिलेटेड है तो नेट रन रेट कंसिडर होगा, ऑल ऑफ दैट वुड बी देयर, ठीक है. सो दिस इज गेम्स एंड टूर्नामेंट्स. यस, लुक्स वेरी लेंथी इफ यू आर नॉट कंफर्टेबल विद इट, बट टेंशन मत लो, काफी टाइम है अपने पास. वी विल लर्न टू गेट कंफर्टेबल विद ऑल ऑफ दीज, ठीक है. देन वी हैव मैप्स एंड नेटवर्क्स. CAT 22 में वी हैव सीन अ वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम मैप्स एंड नेटवर्क्स, नॉट वन, मोर देन वन. कैसे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं उसमें, कोई मैप दे देंगे, राइट, देयर विल बी सम रूट मैप गिवन टू यू. they'll ask you for the possible routes, they can ask you for the quickest route जो सबसे कम टाइम लेगा. they can ask you for the cheapest route जो काफी कम पैसे में पहुंच सकते हैं. and then there would be frequency कि कितने between two places कितने flights है, कितने trains है, buses है, और how many occurrences happen, right. these are the questions that are asked under maps and networks. एक example CAT 22 का फर्स्ट स्लॉट का क्वेश्चन है. इतना कॉन्फिडेंस से बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि मैंने खुद दिया था ये, राइट. सो वी सी देयर इज अ मैप गिवन. ये रहा मैप. यहाँ पे टर्मिनल स्टेशंस दिए हुए हैं, राइट. स्मॉलर जंक्शंस दिए हुए हैं. yes, this R is a junction, these are smaller stations. yes, look at this, diamonds are junction station. तो R, S, V, T, these are junction stations. A, M, P, B, D, Q, N, C, these are all terminal stations. And small stations है R वगैरह, right. The other smaller dots are the smaller stations, stops of the trains. yes, यहाँ पे क्या ढूंढना है, अदर डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस है. कौन सबसे फास्ट कहाँ पे पहुंच सकते हैं, राइट. देयर इज टाइमिंग गिवन, डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ ट्रेन, स्टार्टिंग टाइम, एंडिंग टाइम. यस, दैट इज रूट्स एंड नेटवर्क्स, ठीक है. मैप्स एंड नेटवर्क्स, रूट्स एंड नेटवर्क्स. देयर विल बी अ स्कीमेटिक ग्राफ मैप गिवन टू यू. अगर एक मैप नहीं है तो उसके बारे में भी इंफॉर्मेशन दे देंगे कि ऐसा है. दे विल टेल यू दैट 4 cities फॉर्म अ रेक्टेंगल. यस, जहाँ पे ये दो इक्वी डिस्टेंट है और ये दो इक्वी डिस्टेंट है, और समथिंग लाइक दैट. यस, एंड देन देयर इज अ कनेक्शन बिटवीन दिस, कनेक्शन बिटवीन दिस. सम इज अ टर्मिनल स्टेशन. टर्मिनल स्टेशन का मतलब है कि उसके आगे कुछ भी नहीं है, दैट्स द एंड एंड द बिगिनिंग ऑफ अ ट्रेन जर्नी, राइट. जंक्शन क्या है, जहां से दूसरे लोकेशन की तरफ जा सकते हो, ऑल दैट, ठीक है. दैट्स गेम्स एंड नेटवर्क्स. एंड देन वी हैव पजल्स व्हिच आर बोथ लॉजिकल बेस्ड एंड मैथ बेस्ड. yes, we've seen a math based one. logical based क्या है, जहां पे there is no math involved or very less math involved but other things. जैसे ट्रूथ टेलर, लाई टेलर वाला आपने सुना होगा, राइट. किंग, नेव, वैसे वाला क्वेश्चंस. yes, जहां पे there are 3 people, one of them always tells the truth, the other always tells a lie, and the third guy is either truth teller or a liar. yes, those kind of questions, these are logical based. There's an example here. This was again asked in CAT 22 के फर्स्ट स्लॉट में. दिस इज मैथ बेस्ड. जैसे अपन ने अभी किया था प्राइम नंबर के बेसिस पे, सेम लॉजिक है यहाँ पे. देखो, वेयर आर द नंबर्स, हियर दीज आर द नंबर्स. इनके हमें प्राइम फैक्टराइजेशन करके वी हैव टू डू द अरेंजमेंट. तो ये डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन भी है बट मैथ बेस्ड. ओके, नेक्स्ट, वेन डायग्राम. वेन डायग्राम हमें सबको पता है बिकॉज वी हैव डन दिस इन आवर स्कूल्स. यस, वेन डायग्राम क्या है, वेयर देयर आर ग्रुप्स. यस, सेट बनते हैं. तो 2 सेट वाले वेन डायग्राम, 3 सेट्स वाले वेन डायग्राम, 4 सेट वाले काफी रेयर है बट 4 सेट वेन डायग्राम्स आर ऑल्सो काइंड ऑफ आस्क्ड. तो दिस इज वन ऑफ द एग्जाम्पल्स, राइट. स्पेशलिटी सुपरमार्केट है, 320 प्रोडक्ट्स बेचता है, either cosmetic product or nutrition product. yes, so they've given us the sets. yes, यहाँ पे क्या करना है, you have to make the sets, you have to find out the intersection only in a particular set, not in a set all of those, right. intersection, union, वैसे वाले questions. yes, so we'll do all of those. and then towards the end you have miscellaneous. miscellaneous क्या है, quant based, not math based. math नहीं, not numbers only, but quant based. quant based में क्या आ जाता है, questions that are related to say mixtures, allocations, time and work, time, speed, distance, right. or questions that deal with permutation, combination, all of that, probability, वैसे वाले questions भी you can expect. and then you have coding and decoding based. coding decoding मतलब किसी letter को code किया गया है, किसी word को code किया गया है, and they'll give you the code for it. you have to find out the occurrences, you have to find out the common ones, all of those, right. so this is an overview of, here एक example. yes, look at this. This is based on mixtures allegations, right? देखो 100% pure content है, and they're talking about bottle 1 containing only P and so on, right? This is a mixture allegation का question, which was not in the quant section, instead it was in the LRDI section. ठीक है? Now, so I think आपको LR का एक overview मिल गया होगा, and we've also spoken about how to improve our clues and conditions reading, right? All you have to do starting today are start solving these smaller puzzles. जैसे मैंने 2 examples दिए थे. I told you Wordle, which is available on the website. आप न्यूयॉर्क टाइम्स के वेबसाइट में जाओगे या गूगल पे Wordle मारो, मिल जाएगा. And there's this other game that I said which was 4 = 10. You can start with these, start with other games also, but they have to be logical. They should not be like, like you don't think at all and then you play, right? जो गेम आपको थोड़ा सा हल्का सा सोचने पे मजबूर करे, start playing with those. Yes. So look at this. Things to remember as a quick summary of everything. Read the question statement. Question statement को each and every single word you have to read and understand. Any one word could give a different meaning, entirely different meaning to the statement. Clues you have to read, conditions you have to read thoroughly. This is very important. इन्हें पढ़ना काफी ध्यान से पढ़ना जरूरी है, because if you are in a rush, if you hurry, you might end up making a silly mistake that will backfire. You would have invested so much time and energy in it, and it will backfire because you made a silly mistake on reading part. Next, make a habit of writing down the important and relevant information whenever you read. So what a lot of people do is they sit and read the full question first, and then they start the solution part. That's okay. But when you're reading for the first time, you are calm and you're reading, take down important information. Yes, because बार बार आपको क्वेश्चन को रेफर करने की जरूरत नहीं होगी. क्वेश्चन इतना बड़ा होगा, बट उसके अंदर का माल सिर्फ इतना सा होगा. So you don't have to read so much just to get this information again, right? So whenever you read, the more you read, start taking down information as and when you do that. Then read the questions after reading the information. This is very important. कई बार क्या करते हैं हम, set पढ़ लेते हैं and then we start solving it. Yes, some very important information or clue could be given in the question. उसके बिना आप ये solve ही नहीं कर पाओगे. Yes. So make this a habit. Whenever you read the set, also read the questions and the options along with that. And these are called Easter eggs, right? Easter eggs जो questions में available होते हैं, that will help you solve the entire set. Never judge a set by its size and looks. This is very, very important, right? When you decide, obviously, let's say अगर 4 set पूछा गया है, आप चारों तो solve करके आओगे नहीं. You'll probably solve 2 or 3 of them. But do not make that decision कि मैं कौन सा करूंगा कौन सा नहीं करूंगा on the basis of the size. Yes, size, और ये तो दिखने में बहुत लंबा, ये नहीं करेंगे. In most cases, what happens is the lengthy ones, the ones that look lengthy, are the easier ones to solve, probably, right? Because you can't predict anything. Cat, like I said, is unpredictable in the whole. So please keep that in mind. And towards the end, make this a habit. Daily practice problems are available on the app. If you have not downloaded yet, go ahead and do that. Link is in the description. Use these daily practice problems to help you enhance on whatever you've learned, right? To ensure that you're doing this process, we are putting in a lot of efforts with the DPP. So please go ahead and solve them. Okay. I guess with this, we are done with intro and essentials for LR. I hope आप लोगों को अच्छा खासा समझ में आया होगा. You got something new to learn today. Yes, I will see you again next time. Yeah, but keep in mind, डरने की क्या है बात जब MBA वाला है आपके साथ. Alright guys, cheers, see you.